fancy myself as a warrior poet, defiantly fighting society's ills and vanquishing villains with lyrical brilliance, skewering foes on the tip of my quill, when really, I'm more of a worrier poet, expressing distress at the problems I see, and as much as I wish I could write with some righteousness, most of the time, I don't think I succeed. There's a need to address this contemporary zeitgeist, and I try to tackle the topics on trend, but this endless succession of daily depression suggests that this world's just too broken to mend. What good is a poem to punish injustice when trust in the heart of humanity dies? Why try to fight back against creeping corruption when honesty's enemies choke it with lies? Is it purely delusion to think that a poet could sway people's spirits with just the right words, as if some combination of miracle syllables might hold the secret to saving the world? There are people who tell me I'm wasting my efforts, that nothing will ever get better than this, that if something is broken, it's broken forever, and just getting by is as good as it gets. So should I remain silent, not write about violence, political liars and government sins? But when I think I should quit, I remind myself this: when good people do nothing, bad people still win. Yes, the future might seem quite abysmally bleak, and I know that won't change with a few lines of verse. But I'd rather campaign, even if it's in vain, because being resigned to do nothing is worse. It's too easy to stay feeling down and defeated, repeating these same empty mantras of change, but I won't believe things can just never get better, not while there's a shred of hope left to maintain. So bring me a banner emblazoned with slogans. I'll shout out a poem and join in that march. I'll channel my worries to something creative and fight with the flames of a warrior's heart. Because when all's said and done, I'm still willing to trust that it's not only me who believes in what's right. And I'll keep writing poems promoting our progress and hope I can change some minds, one at a time. You're a perfect cup of cocoa on a frozen winter's day. You're the perfect rays of summer sun to chase my blues away. You're the perfect wine at supper time you pair with every meal. You're the perfect cards in a game of chance, whatever hand fate deals. You're the perfect cosy sofa on a lazy afternoon, and on a frightful night, you're the starry sky and the light of a perfect moon. You're a perfect patch of silken sand on a lonely, stony beach, and in a world of bitter coffee, you're the perfect cup of tea. You're the perfect warming weather for a picnic in the park. And when I can't ignite my fire, then your smile's the perfect spark. When the sky's a mass of rain clouds, you're a perfectly placed umbrella. And when my puzzle's missing pieces, we fit perfectly together. You're the perfect wrap of bandages to heal a broken heart. And on the path of life's adventures, you're the perfect place to start. You're a singer's gift for perfect pitch, a lyrically perfect rhyme. And if love were like this poem, you'd be the perfect final line. You rush me out of your bedroom and down the stairs amid flurries of electronic bleeping and hastily retrieved underwear, pushing through a haze of shower steam and last night's aromatic blend of spliffs and scented candles. Through a mouthful of half-boiled tea and quick-fire nicotine, you peppered my cheek with the romantic equivalent of spare change and thrust me blinking into the morning sunshine, offering apologies for being so busy and promising a weekend reunion. I lean in to leave a lingering reminder tingling upon your lips, only to receive a rapid diversion into an awkward hug as your housemates begin emerging from their bedrooms, slamming your shoulder into my throat to splutter out my compliments and leave me literally speechless. With a patronising smile that you think constitutes flirtation, you file the memory of me away in a drawer marked "something for the weekend" and let the door swing closed with a resounding click. The most definitive answer I could have expected. I itch in yesterday's clothing and search for gum in lieu of toothpaste, lamenting the tenner you borrowed for wine and promised to repay this morning. I stand lost for words, out of pocket and haunted by the uncomfortable notion that I may have in essence just been paid for sex, lavishing you with every romantic extravagance for what was just another part-time prophylactic dalliance. This realisation lingers like the scent of you, transforming last night's memories of passion into leering gargoyles of sexual convenience, hunching my shoulders and mocking these attempts at sentimentality. But hey, maybe it's just me. Maybe I can't stand the tempo of your so-called modern love, convincing me that what we had was never quite enough, that you should keep your options open, stay flirtatious and available, but only when it suited you not to act so unattainable. And I might be excused presuming our romance was truly dead. I mean, a swipe to the right was all it took to get us into bed. But even when I'd found someone with whom I really could connect, the intimacy was instantaneously absent after sex. just another way to pass the time from one night to the next. And so I light a cigarette and take what I suspect may be my last long look at your front door, where I've stood countless times before when I was drunk or you were stoned and neither wanted to be alone. So summoned by your flirtatious texts, I'd tug your hair and kiss your neck, caress your curves while you gripped my hips, our lips adrip with secret charms till we slumbered in each other's arms. But now, if this is all that we together can aspire to be, depriving me of peace of mind for casual fucks from time to time, your attitude that guarantees continued infidelity and only going out with me to places that we won't be seen in case the rumour gets around that someone's made you settle down and tame that free-willed sexual beast that you've always presented yourself to be, well, as precious as you've been to me, I'm going to have to say goodbye. As fun as all of this has been, I've told myself too many lies. I may have gone along with this, but still you've treated me unkind. I know we could do better, and I'd lie to say I didn't mind. We could have made sweet music and had loving words to say, but I guess we never did all that much talking anyway. And once this morning's over, then I guess we'll never know, because I'll be moving onwards down that dark side of the road. So, please, don't take this poetry as proof that I've been grieving. It's just here to remind me of mistakes not worth repeating. You told me you could fall for me, but I no longer believe it. And I will not waste my precious time just to be your dirty little secret. In ancient Ireland, if somebody wanted to join one of the bardic colleges, they would have to fulfill certain requirements, one of which was to be a poet's son and another poet's grandson. And that applies to me. And that made me curious about how one goes about becoming a bard in ancient Ireland. And there was a ritual that you had to go through, an initiation process. And so I've written my own version of that. Just to give some context, forail means sacrifice. Lesbian is the dancing supernatural lights that appear when you're slipping between the real world and the fairy world. Columbrach is a magic doorway that links the two. Santar and Altar are the living world and the fairy world. Skim is the magical veil that slips over reality. And Olam is the highest rank of ancient Irish poet. This is called Imbas forosnai. In an ancestral graveyard, I find myself surrounded by crumbling tombstones inscribed with long-forgotten names. My teeth tear at raw meat with relish, masticating slithers of red flesh and swallowing greedily, shoulders wrapped in the still bleeding hide of the freshly flensed bull. I spit into my bloodied palms and smear them across the flagstones, dark red glistening in dusklight. Between my stained lips, I place a cat's bone, macerated in a mead barrel, dried in the liquid light of a smouldering summer, carved by candle and careful hand. I stand supplicant in the moonlight, Macfili Aras Anar Arail, a poet's son and another poet's grandson, blood of the bards beating an ancient aching rhythm in my chest. Spreading a bed of wattled reeds, I lay beneath the gleaming stars, inhaling dust of broken bone and offering my flesh as forail, sacrifice to the ancient gods whose long-forgotten language formed the fabric of these sleeping lands. Lesban swims before my eyes, and gradually the column back between Santar and Altar forms, the tear in the fairy-veiled skim which grants a glimpse of future things. Now sleep descends, and I'll awake again in 3 or 6 or 9 days hence. My tongue alive with ancient rhyme, my mind expanded out beyond the slim confines of space and time, enlightened by transcendent truths. The bleeding hide I'll cast aside, and instead wear the crimson feathered cloak of Olam, highest poet, and finally finding answer to the age-old question, Sandura Diban Tro, who are you really of? Look into these empty eyes, which once watched the horizon burning. Stare into your primal past and seek the beast beneath the surface. See something you recognise? We know each other, you and I. These sharpened canine teeth that you use to tear at safely processed foods once craved the tangy taste of blood from lizard flesh upon my tongue. That fight or flight reaction peaked when terror grips you by surprise, once kept me hidden out of reach from larger creatures' hungry eyes, and when you feel that primal drive to feed and strive and breed and thrive, that's me inside. Reptilian scales concealed beneath your mammalian layers. My days are over. Titans fallen, held within colossal tombs where you can guess my size and shape and puzzle over what was true. If I had plumes of colourful feathers, or hide of leather and horns of bone, and what terrible fate condemned my race and locked our remains away in stone. But still that ghost of recognition reaches out across the ages, searching minds, rebirthing me in more and more elaborate disguises. We know each other, you and I, and my ancestors made yours dream of dragons.